Hello, Fluff here. Thank you for coming to my 2016 studio tour. There's a few things that had to change before I could really do this tour proper, but now that those things have come to fruition, we're going to go through some things. We're going to nerd out a little bit, and I'm going to close this case because there's nothing in it and there's no reason for it to be open. And yeah, let's get started in this upper loft area. I'm going to turn the camera around. Come up my stairs. This is the loft area. First thing you notice is a bunch of Panama speakers that I need to get to A and B demo-wise. Some Nady wireless units. Need to demo the Nady. Here's a Rode NTG2 shotgun mic that I use for all my spoken word, all my voice stuff, talking stuff. It's all that microphone. Let's see. This just came in. This is an Ampheat 222 amp switcher. This allows you to connect 2 amps, 2 cabs, and control them with MIDI, the switching. So you can use any combination of the 4 items with each other. It's super, super cool. I played with it a little bit, and it has way more features than I would ever use, but it's really, really heavy duty, and you guys will be seeing that soon in a cool gear alert video. It is sitting on this Mesa Boogie custom order cab from 1997-ish, 98. It was ordered by Art Alexakis from Everclear, and it was used in Everclear set at Woodstock 99. If you go on YouTube and watch that, you will see this cab behind him. And this is the cab. There's 2 of them in the video, and the other one was a different cab at a different auction. Both of them are on eBay, and I bought one from Everclear's people. They were cleaning out their warehouse in LA, and I got it for $500 shipped to the door. So score. And it's probably the best sounding Mesa cab I've ever heard, and I use it for a lot of stuff actually. This one is a Mesa Boogie 412 that has the Celestion A-type and B-type in an X pattern. Sound really good. This is a Panama 212 with AV30s in it. Highly underrated cabs. They're very, very good, and they're heavy, and they sound really, really good. Just some 2-note stuff, some lapels, and a torpedo cab. That's a wedge. It's upside down, but this is a little 1x12 wedge from Panama. These are my lights. I only recently got these 2 larger ones. They really, really kick out the light because I realized, the better image quality that I wanted for the channel was not attainable with 3 small lights in a dark room. So I got the 2 big boys, and that was problem solved. Old TV that I don't really care about. Here's some stuff from Dunlop. Have some fuzzes, pretty much every fuzz Dunlop makes, in addition to some drive pedals that I need to demo eventually. This is an Alexander Jubilee overdrive pedal that I'll be demoing soon. I'm going to be doing an overdrive shootout, like a metal. We're going to be just trying a bunch of different Maxon overdrives. My buddy Kevin at Godlike hooked it up with a bunch of overdrives. The 820. That's one with actual tube in it. Super, super cool. Let's see. This is just tubes. Pickups, tubes, stuffs. Most of the stuff's in here is just cables. Just miscellaneous stuff. Tools, gotta have tools. Strings, the Mike and Andy at Cleartone are so good to me. I love Cleartone, love their strings, they love me. It's, every year at NAMM we get to hug, bro down, drink beers. It's just a really, really great product. Here's some custom wrist beads and gear picks from my man Chris at Dunlop. Here's some pedals. my slow fire in the back. Here's a metal zone. There's Maxon, reamp box, a DI box. Some wide Dunlop, more Dunlop stuff. Crybabies and overdrives and phase 90s. This custom shop phase 90 is wonderful. My favorite phase 90. My favorite phaser, really. Yeah, the modified overdrives. Currently, the box is empty because that overdrive is on my board for rest repose in use of my triple rectifier. You've seen the guitars. I guess I'll go over them briefly a little bit. There's a Schecter P custom bass. There's a Mexi Jazz bass with DiMarzio pickups. That's really, really wonderful. And for the upper tunings, I use a Squier Jaguar bass and Gus, a custom-made Gus. You've seen all the Gibsons. Last year I don't think I had this guy. This is another 77, but this is the artist trim level. This is my gig guitar with rest repose, and when I got it, there were no frets left. The frets were almost level with the fretboard. Other than that, it was in great condition, so I pretty much made it a working man's guitar, and I replaced the tuners with hip shots. Put, my DiMarzio straps on it, put Tone Pro's hardware on it because the hardware was just toast. Interestingly enough, my other Gibson RD, my standard, which is the bottom trim level, is in wonderful, wonderful condition, and they really took their time in making it. This artist level, which was much more money and very, very expensive in 1977, still has dowel pins from when they attached the body. They didn't bother to cover them up. At the top of the headstock, there was this chip that's finished over the original finish. They just didn't care. Yeah. There's some other little things about it, like the pick guard isn't flush with the body. It sticks out a little bit. The route's not really that great. They were pretty careless in putting this guitar together, but it has a lot of mojo, and that's why I continue to gig with it until I get my signature Hyperion guitars from Balgair that are coming very soon. See my tobacco Les Pauls. I like Gibsons. I'm old school. This is the studio. And first, we'll head over to the amps. Let's see. First is this Positive Grid bias head. It's actually really, really good sounding. It has a built-in 600 watt amplifier, and you can plug it straight into a guitar cab, and you can load your bias presets right to it. Super, super cool. I'm going to be doing some stuff with it, both for my channel and Positive Grid's stuff. More on that soon. This is a Panama Shaman, beastly amp. I love it a lot. It's very aggressive, and the clean channel is also really, really good. PV6505 Mini that PV sent me to do the demo, and the plan was I was just going to demo it, and I was going to do them a solid and just throw it up on the channel and do my thing with it. And they sent me a return label to send it back, and one of the amp designers, well, he wasn't an amp designer, he works at PV in the amp department. He actually emailed me and said, hey, who sent you that amp? You need to keep that amp. You deserve it for, the demo that we all really liked during passing around the office. And I went, wow, that's really nice of you, but I don't know who to ask to even keep it. And so basically he went to his boss, and he got his boss to send me an email saying it was okay to keep it. So thanks, PV. I've used it on a bunch of stuff, especially with Rob Scallon. This is a Panama Inferno 100, serial number 0001. This is the prototype Shaman. Very, very awesome amplifier. This is a Revolt Plexenstein. Pretty much custom made for me. It's a plexi on the front and an 800 in the back. Let's see. This is a Randall Century 170 Mark II. The difference between this and the Century 200 is basically the same difference as the 6505 and the 6505 Plus. This has a single EQ for both channels, whereas the Century 200 had dual EQs, one for each channel. But it's the same circuit. This is instant, far beyond driven, a vulgar display of power Pantera tones. It's incredible sounding. And I just haven't got around to use it a lot because for a lot of the stuff I want to do, I just want to wham bam, whip out the 5150 or Recto or something like that and just get something done. So I need to actually make a video for this amp because there's not a lot out there. I will do that. This is an old fastback 212 when they still made cabinets. It has some Celestion Greenbacks in it, and I used this for a long time on the channel here. Really, really good sounding cabinet made by Dave Cracky. Here are 2 Torpedo Lives that I'm prepping for a Rest Repose DVD shoot live at Fastback. One's mine, one's Tony's. We're going to be recording direct in addition to the cabs, just as a kind of a fail-safe kind of a thing. This is a Mesa Boogie 50 Cal Plus. Pepper Keenan used these a bunch on the old Corrosion and Conformity records and the First Down record. Awesome, awesome amp, and one of my favorite clean channels, actually. It's very, very Fender clean. This is a 95 dual rectifier that's been modified by Will at 38 amps with his Thunk mod. My favorite sounding rectifier I've ever had, and I actually just got rid of my Rev E because I was trying to make room for other amps and other stuff, and I kept this over the Rev E. This just kills it. It has a better clean channel, a better gain channel, and it's just so huge. The band referred to this as the Rest Repose amp because this is what I primarily used until we actually started gigging. For months and months and months, this is all I played, and when I was the only guitar player in Rest Repose before we got Tony, this is what I used, and yeah. Down in the trenches with this amp, I love it. This is a 1992 Blockletter 5150. It's a very early 5150. They haven't even gotten really the fitting of the chassis yet because there's actually a gap in between the panel and the head shell, which I haven't really ever seen before. I just retubed this with some Eurotubes set, a Eurotubes standard set, and it's just fire breathing. This is my Rhodes Gemini that I just love to death and just used last night on a Rob Scallon 8-string track. Great amplifier. And a Rev Generator 100 Mark I. I have a Mark II coming for a demo soon. We'll be able to compare them a little bit because they've changed the circuit just a little bit. Still, in essence, the same amp. They just fine-tweaked some things. And I can't wait to show you guys that. This amp is just fantastic. It's a laser. It's so precise and tight. Super, super cool. Next is a Paul Reed Smith Archon amp. This is not my amp, as much as I wish it was. A friend of mine named Jeff Loomis let me borrow it. This is his amp. And I have to bring it back to him this week. I think Jeff is going to go places. You guys should check him out. I think eventually he's going to just become really popular, and maybe he might even get some signature gear. But I think big things are happening for that kid. He's going places. This is a Mesa 212 that I used for the Rest Repose record and used on a bunch of stuff. It's just easier to roll into my daughter's room to mic stuff with across the hallway than the 412. Easier on the neighbor's ears, but still obviously a great sounding cab. It's a failure poster. Vicoustic wall treatment. Thank you, Vicoustic. Pretty much become known and identified with this wall treatment, the room treatment, and I'm so proud to say that. Here's the cameras that I use to record everything. I have 2 Canon T5 eyes and 1 T3 eye. These are autofocusing. This one's not. The autofocusing and longer shoot time. It cuts off at, I think, 22 minutes or something like that, a video, which is great. T3 eyes were 11 minutes. Kemper profiling amp. Here's some Here's some status headphones that I am currently checking out and going to be making a Cool Gear alert video for. These are super, super cool, and they're really teeny tiny company here in the States. They're really, really great sounding headphones. I've really enjoyed them and been mixing on them a little bit. This is just batteries and, you know, stuffs, cables. Here's microphones, SM7, a Fredman clip for 2 SM57s. This is my new Argosy Halo console that I just got a couple days ago. It's wonderful. It still feels like I'm sitting at someone else's desk and driving someone else's car, so to speak, but it's just wonderful. I made a custom panel for my reamping, which I do a lot. So I have a reamp out for the guitar signal and then a speaker cable in, so I don't have to go to the back of the Torpedo Studio or in the back of the Torpedo Reload, because I just hate getting back there, and I was so sick of doing that. And I finally just made myself a panel with this new desk. JBL LSR 308s, Neumann KH120s for monitoring. This is just a patch for 5 and 6 for each side. These are dual channel. This is a dual channel preamp and EQ. Basically, the signal comes into the microphone. From the microphone, it goes into the JDK R20. And then it hits the R24. If I want to fine tune anything coming on the way in, I sometimes will like to add a little bit of lows or dial back to mid-range on one of the mics sometimes. Normally it's left totally neutral, like this side is basically neutral. And then the Warm Audio WA76 is a Universal Audio 1176 clone by Warm Audio, and it sounds wonderful. I used it on all the vocals on Vince's Vocals for the Rest Repose EP, and this is on channel 6, so normally when I'm talking, I will use channel 6, the right side, and then I'll just hit the gain reduction, and usually I'll go to a ratio about 4:1 on those for my everyday talking. When Vince is singing and stuff, I found the 8:1 ratio pretty aggressive. I mean, it's fairly aggressive. It's not crazy aggressive or anything, but that was best for his voice. But yeah, that's the desk. The desk fit and finish is really, really awesome. It's a huge achievement for me personally. Never thought I would have one of these things in my room, let alone be able to afford it after I lose my day job. Pretty surreal. This is my Ben Wyman signature guitar, which I love, but I need to get set up because the frets need leveling, so I haven't played it that much. This is my Jerry Cantrell signature guitar. It's a terrible, terrible guitar because it's a B stock, and there's the fretboard, a bunch of things wrong with the fretboard, and it sounds terrible. Doesn't matter what pickup are in it or is in it. It sounds atrocious. Here's a Pac-Man thing from a guy from Portland, and he drove out, or he took a bus up to a Rest Repose show and gave it to us, and he gave us a bunch of other stuff, and I can't remember his name, and I don't know how to contact him. If he watches this, I hope he does contact me, because I never saw a friend request on Facebook or anything like that. I know he sells this stuff on Etsy. That's all I know. It's an old Ibanez RG140 from '88. This is my lithograph of Blood Mountain that Bill Kelleher sent to me after I contacted him on his Facebook page and said, "Hey, I see you're selling that thing. I'm the guy who demoed your lace pickups." And he said, "Yeah, cool, man. How's it going? I haven't seen you since then." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to buy that lithograph thing." He was like, "Oh, yeah, cool, no problem." And he popped it in the mail. I think I paid $20 for it. Pretty cool. That is about it, guys, though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that wasn't too tedious or nerdy or boring. Yes, you will be seeing more of this guy very, very soon. And until next time, you've been wonderful, and I've been Fluff, and I'll see you later.